Girl finds a pup in danger out in the forest. Afterwards, in a dangerous situation years later, karma does its job. On a bright and beautiful summer morning, Tina and her parents were out scouring the forest trails for mushrooms. It was a hectic task. They've been out all morning and 10-year-old Tina was tired. She looked up at her mother with irritated eyes. "You know what would help us?" she asked with the sweet innocence of a child. Tina's parents glanced at each other, well aware of the answer. "A dog!" Tina shouted. "I've read that they've got a perfect sense of smell and can sniff out almost anything, especially mushrooms." "I think that would actually be truffles, not mushrooms. You should read up on that article again," her mother said with the same cunning innocence. Tina responded saying, "You both know very well that I'm responsible enough to take care of a dog. I don't see why I can't have one. That's not fair." Although her parents agreed that Tina was an incredibly responsible child, they knew that getting a pet would be far too chaotic. Between food, training, and medical bills, getting a dog seemed too expensive. They adored their daughter, but this one wish would remain unfulfilled. Without waiting for a response, Tina headed further down the trail, pretending to look for mushrooms. Suddenly, a howl pierced through the forest, breaking the silence within the area. Tina and her parents froze. No one dared to make a sound. Their senses were immediately alert as they looked for any signs of danger. The howling continued. Before they could analyze what was making that sound or where it was coming from, Tina rushed closer to the noise, heading deeper into the forest. "That's a dog!" Tina yelled as she finally noticed the cause of the noise. Tina's parents followed, afraid that Tina might find herself in a dangerous situation. Tina's parents told her to slow down, knowing that it could be any wild animal. Her dad warned her that it could be a coyote, as Tina's dad called after her. "Whatever it is, it's hurt and needs help," Tina shouted and carried on through the forest. Tina soon disappeared behind a thick line of trees, and with fear fueling them on, Tina's parents ran after her. When they caught up, they found Tina kneeling beside a wounded animal. It was a roan-color hunting dog caught in a bear trap. "Dad, it's in so much pain, we have to help," Tina said with urgency. Her dad rushed forward and began analyzing the trap while the poor creature lay whining. Using his pocket knife, he worked to get the trap off the dog's leg until the dog's leg was free. He examined the leg and with a sigh of relief exclaimed that nothing seemed to be broken. All the while, Tina's mother was comforting the dog. She could sense that it was a good dog and didn't deserve the agony it had experienced. She remembered hearing stories of hunters illegally breeding dogs. If they didn't develop effective senses or prove to be worthy hunters, the dogs were left to starve. There shouldn't be traps this deep in the forest. When will these people learn? Tina's dad muttered angrily. "He's still pretty shaken up. We should take him home with us," Tina said. "She's right. This dog needs to be treated," Tina's mother agreed. They took the dog home, intending to treat his leg and later on find a shelter that would take him in. But almost instantly, the three of them fell in love with the dog. It seems Tina's wish was about to come true. They named him Rocky, and he soon became part of the family. Rocky lived with Tina and her family for years, and they became best friends. After the years passed, Tina and Rocky's friendship grew deeper and stronger. Even though Tina was in her teen years, Rocky remained her best friend and trusted her pup with just about everything. One year, the family planned a winter getaway in the mountains. They spent their holidays trekking through the beautiful snow-laden slopes amidst biting cold winds. The winter that year was particularly harsh, but nothing could defeat the beauty of winter, especially as it encouraged Rocky's wacky antics, jumping in and out and getting lost in the snow. One particular morning, gazing out at the scenic sights, Tina's dad couldn't help but comment on the magnificence of it all. "This has been a wonderful, amazing holiday," he said. The morning air was fresh and the winds had calmed. The sun was shining at the time. It isn't as cold today and the sun's out. It looks like it should be a great day. I think we should go out for a walk, Tina said. The family agreed and set out walking on a trail near the guest house. The morning was peaceful and still. That was until Rocky began acting weirdly. As they approached the slope of the hill, he began barking loudly and running around in circles. Thinking he'd found something, Tina approached the slope. Then, suddenly, a loud bang cut through the air, shaking the ground beneath them. The three swung around, completely in shock, as a large sheet of snow began cascading down the mountain. Unfortunately for the family, they were right in the way. Tina's dad frantically tried to reach his daughter. "Tina, get back!" he shouted. But it was too late. The snow came mercilessly, and within seconds, any trace of life was wiped away, including Tina. Tina's parents had survived by taking protection behind a large tree. But Tina and Rocky were nowhere to be seen. Terrified that their screams might trigger another avalanche, Tina's parents began looking for her, using broken branches to shovel the heavy snow. With crushed hearts, they looked everywhere for their little girl, whilst moments ago they had seen the happiest face they'd ever seen from her. Despite their efforts, there was no sign of Tina. Her parents feared the worst but didn't dare to give up. Suddenly, Rocky emerged beside them and began tugging on Dad's sleeve. Tina's dad looked up angrily and tried to shake him off, but Rocky was stubborn. He began barking and jumping around, trying desperately to get their attention. "Shush, Rocky! You'll cause another avalanche!" Tina's mom cried in between sobs. But Rocky's behavior persisted. He ran off to a spot near some trees and began digging. Annoyed with the stubbornness of the dog, Tina's dad said, "That dog is going to have us all buried in the snow." He rushed after Rocky in attempts to quiet him down. When he saw what Rocky was trying to tell them, all his anger evaporated. There, protruding from the snow, was a gloved hand. The glove was Tina's. He called Tina's mother and the two began digging and moving snow until they had pulled Tina out. They rushed their daughter to the hospital, praying that she would be okay. Rocky was restless the entire time. Will Tina be okay? Rocky didn't want to lose his best friend, and her parents definitely did not want to lose their child. Luckily, Tina suffered only mild injuries and recovered within a few days. On her last day at the hospital, Tina's parents were given special permission to have Rocky with them when Tina woke up. As soon as she opened her eyes, she was greeted with kisses from her canine pal. "I missed you too, bud," Tina said. Tina's mom looked lovingly at the pair. "It's amazing how all those years ago you found him hurt and trapped and saved his life. Today, he repaid the favor and brought you back home. It looks like karma will always find its way back to you in one way or another. In this case, it happened to be very specific. Tina lent a hand, and Rocky lent a paw." Well, this concludes this true story of Tina and her puppy Rocky. If you found this story interesting, please be sure to leave a like and let us know which part of the story you found most interesting. Thanks for watching, and we'll catch you in the next one.